Welcome to today's episode of Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host, Rick Franzi. Are you looking for IT solutions to fit your business? Amon Prasad is CEO of Network Remedy and joins the show today to discuss manageable network solutions. Manageable network solutions. Yes. This show is brought to you by our advertisers, Center Club, Commercial Bank, Decision Toolbox, Executives Unlimited, MBN Design, S&H Rubber, Strategic Market Intelligence, Sunup Group, T & Company, Tone Software, Turn Up the Volume, and UPS Protection. The goal for this show is to help you, our listening audience of CEOs running middle market firms, to improve your decision-making skills. To connect with me on LinkedIn, I am Rick Franzi. CEO Peer Groups is my Twitter handle. And on your favorite podcasting software, type in these 4 words, Critical Mass Radio Show. Amon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
It's our pleasure. Tell me a little bit about your firm, Network Remedy.
So Network Remedy is, it started off as a consulting firm back in 2001, and we have since expanded into a managed services or managed IT services firm, as well as a private cloud hosting solution provider.
Okay.
So we host our own data centers around the country, and we also provide the consulting services to clients to, in fact, guide them into cloud services, as well as manage anything that they may have on site. Servers, workstations, mobile devices.
Those two complement each other, don't they?
Absolutely, and that's really been the differentiating factor with us, as opposed to other providers in the area. There are numerous managed services providers, and there are numerous cloud hosting providers.
Right.
However, not very many people that I know of have actually combined or married the two into one cohesive solution, so that the end user or the end customer is comfortable understanding the benefits of the cloud,
right,
as well as having the flexibility of having an actual person on site that they can work with, having a consultant on site that they can work with. So we feel like we've successfully kind of combined those two complementary business models into one umbrella.
And that's those are both high growth areas, right, in your industry sector? Absolutely.
And we're seeing a massive and exponential rise in the adoption of cloud services, especially in any industry. To be honest with you, most people think of the Silicon Valley, where we're based right now, or we're headquartered right now, as kind of the tech leader, and tech savvy people tend to be much more cloud centric, or very happy with the cloud.
Right, very comfortable
migrating
with it.
to the cloud and comfortable.
Right.
But then there are law firms and accounting firms and construction companies that they're not necessarily comfortable or even don't necessarily understand the benefits that the cloud provides them.
Right.
And so they haven't really explored that option. People have heard the term the cloud. No one really...
I think it's safe to say of the people that are running middle market companies listening to the Critical Mass, most of them have at least heard and exposed to the term cloud computing.
Right, but they don't necessarily understand what it is, how it will benefit their business, and that's where we come in. Network Remedy really provides the avenue and the education to our clients to direct them to the cloud.
Okay.
And I think that's really been the differentiator here.
If
for
there's,
us.
Because our audience are CEOs running $2 to $100 million companies across all different spectrums, West Coast focused, but on the internet here on octalkradio.net, we're beaming across the world, really around the globe. I'm talking to Amon Prasad, and he is CEO of Network Remedy, and I'd like to thank Glenn Perkins of Renaissance Executive Forums in Silicon Valley for bringing you to our attention. So,
yes, thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Hopefully you're listening to us live here on OC Talk Radio. If you were to give that CEO who's exploring cloud one or two immediate benefits of switching their infrastructure from on-site premise to a cloud environment, can you just come up with 2 quick benefits?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could probably come up with 5, but I think the key things that we like to, perpetuate as far as our messaging is concerned is really business continuity and disaster recovery.
Okay.
A lot of small businesses or SMB market kind of businesses, they set up servers and they set up all their data and their information in their office and on their servers, but they kind of leave the business continuity as an afterthought. And you think of it as a little bit like insurance. You don't necessarily you don't really feel like you need it until you do need it.
Right, and then you're glad you have it.
Exactly.
Right.
Something drastic happens. And what we do is we make that business continuity and business and disaster recovery aspect of things, bring it down to an affordable level.
Okay.
So that you get all the enterprise grade features that a typical IBM or HP or all these other larger firms enjoy. But we bring that to a much more affordable level so that the mass market, the other 95% of businesses in the country, can afford.
Right.
And then we'll of course bring the education and the services along with it to allow the end client who's not necessarily tech savvy to first of all understand the benefits and then migrate their information systems to the cloud with minimal interruption.
Great. One of the things that I know that middle market companies always worry about is security and firewalls and protection, and sometimes they think they're protected. A couple of years ago, we did a workshop on cybersecurity, and it's frightening, frankly, how exposed they really are. I would think in a cloud infrastructure, they have more protection.
Absolutely, and that's the false sense of security that a lot of businesses have seen, or they seem to think that if I keep it in my office, it's much more secure. Obviously,
right.
But to be honest with you, there's so much better security and regulation and compliance that goes into having a cloud infrastructure. I mean, we are HIPAA compliant. So the healthcare industry, any healthcare documentation, is if it's stored in our cloud platform, we meet all the compliance regulations for that. Many clinics that we've been to, and many kind of medical industries that we've been to, they don't even lock their IT room door. And I'm like, what would happen if someone walked away with your server tomorrow?
Right.
Cleaning crew, someone malicious, and they're like, wow, I never really thought about that. So yeah, we were ISO compliant, we were PCI compliant, so we have biometric security in all of our data centers. So when you're walking into the facility, you're escorted to our specific equipment. Only authorized persons are allowed to go in there. We have very strict regulations around access control, passwords, those kinds of things. And most companies that host things in-house don't necessarily have that. Mm-mm. And then we also have a large team of people that can actually bring a wealth of knowledge and technical expertise that your typical 1 or 2 person IT shop at a 50, 60 user company very likely does not have.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to take our first commercial break here, and I'm talking with Amon Prasad, and he is CEO of Network Remedy. We're talking about cloud computing and managed services, and so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be back to continue this conversation after these words from our sponsors.
Richard Franzi is the author of 2 popular business books for CEOs. His first book, Critical Mass, The 10 Explosive Powers of CEO Peer Groups, was the first book ever written on the secret value of CEO peer groups. His second book, now with newly updated information, is Critical Mass, The Power of CEO Guiding Principles. Richard's books contain powerful information to help CEOs running middle market companies gain valuable insight to improve their decision-making skills. Richard's books are available as paperbacks or Kindle versions from Amazon.com. To find them, type Richard Franzi in the search box.
Are you looking for your successor? Someone as dedicated and experienced in their field as you? Executives Unlimited delivers the top executive talent you need for your company's long-term success. 98% of our clients re-engage us for additional hires, and over 90% of the executives placed by us since 2007 are still in their positions or have been promoted. That's twice the industry's average retention rate. How do we do this? Dedication. Executives Unlimited believe success isn't success until it's long-term. Call us to invest in your long-term success. 562-627-3800 or visit us at executivesunlimited.com. Let our long-term success leverage yours.
Award-winning photographer David Moyle has more than 16 years of experience creating unique and riveting photography for his clients. Whether your business is an international corporation or a small business, David Moyle's photography can make you stand out. Visit www.davidmoyle.com or call 714-272-2284.
And welcome back to Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host, Rick Franzi. I'd like to thank and acknowledge our listeners who download our show as a podcast. You've listened to several thousand episodes during the last 30 days, and we here at the radio show appreciate your continued and growing support. All of our shows can be heard anytime on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, several hundred former guest websites whose CEOs have been on our show, and they've put the player on their website so you can listen to the show there as well as various other business podcasting services. Amon Prasad is our guest. He is CEO of Network Remedy, and we were talking a lot about cloud computing in the first segment, weren't we?
Yes.
So I'd like to switch a little bit to the managed service side of your business. Help a CEO of a middle market company understand what that is that you do. What service do you perform for them?
So managed services are really, IT consulting services in a fixed cost type of model, in a business model. So we typically charge, a standard cost per user or per machine.
Okay.
And we give them unlimited support. We have a network operations center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania that actually is, so we have U.S.-based support, and people have a dedicated 800 number, 24/7 support. Our first tier of, any kind of problem resolution is done over the phone, and then if it needs to be escalated to an on-site engineer, one of our technicians is dispatched to the client.
So you have the capability to go on site?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's our, we have the consulting piece with the managed services as well. So having a managed service kind of a business model really allows the end customer, the end client, to have a fixed cost for IT each month.
Right.
IT tends to be a fluctuating cost depending on when things are working well or when things are not working well. So having it in a managed platform gives them the stability and uptime that you really want your IT infrastructure, there for. You don't want your business tools to be failing and crashing and not functioning. Right. And also gets the client out of the IT business. If you're a law firm or an accounting firm or a construction company or a casino or whatever, you want to focus on your core business. You don't want to be, kind of distracted with IT issues consistently.
Right, but a lot of your core business is either dependent on or resident on your information technology systems.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every company these days needs computers in some fashion.
I just saw an article over the weekend about the increasing move of the IT department into the strategic realm of large corporations, and I because I work mostly with $2 to $100 million companies, I'm thinking that really hasn't, for many of my clients, hasn't made it into their thought process yet. It's really not seen as a strategic differentiator if they're not a technology company to begin with.
Correct. And I think that's one of the other differentiating factors for us is we're not just your help desk type of company. We provide everything we do provide help desk services, obviously, but we also provide all the way up to CIO level budgeting, planning, strategic applications, alignment with different business units, those kinds of things. If you're a larger corporation with multiple divisions and, your vice president of operations has a specific initiative that they need IT for, we can provide the CIO level insight and the resources to actually deploy a new ERP solution, for instance, or something. And so it really is having an entire IT department without having to pay the cost or keep the staff in your payroll on your payroll to do that. So.
That's an excellent model. Network Remedy is the name of the company, ladies and gentlemen, and Amon Prasad is our guest, and you're listening to Critical Mass Radio Show, and I'm your host, Rick Franzi. Can you talk to us a little bit about a trend or trends that you're seeing in outsourced IT solutions? What's on the horizon?
So people in the near horizon, I'm going to say, people really care about applications. They don't necessarily care about servers as much, right? They don't really care where things are hosted or where they're, what kind of machines they're on or what kind of storage they're on. All they really care about is I want my AutoCAD to work. And, I want it to work every time, no matter where I am. If I'm sitting in a Starbucks or if I'm sitting at home or in a hotel room or I'm, around the world in China, I just want it to work. I want to turn on my computer, click on a button, get to all my corporate files, and I want it to work as long as there's internet. And that's really what we're pushing to facilitate for our clients. And the enterprise has enjoyed that for probably the last decade or maybe even longer in some way or form. But the small to medium industry has not. And we're really And that's really why we kind of built this business model and focused it into that market, because the enterprises are, they have deep pockets.
Right.
They can go and build these things, and they can buy the resources that are necessary. The SMB market, not so much.
Yeah, and there's so many different screens that people want now to use to access their
absolutely.
information. And from your perspective, being responsible for that infrastructure and that reliability and availability, it's I think you need somebody to help you to do that if you're a small and middle market company, because too many little things can go wrong that you really don't understand, right?
Right, and there's so much time wasted, having so-and-so's son who does some poking around on IT to come and fix this thing, and, your downtime is adding up because multiple people are not working. If you have a professional team take care of that for you, you're up and running quicker. Your uptime is much higher, significantly higher. And if you that's with our managed services thing.
Right.
And if you move it over to the cloud platform, your uptime increases even more, because now you have a team of experts managing a secure virtualized cloud platform.
Yes.
And an additional benefit of that is that you get the business continuity and disaster recovery, which typically is an afterthought for on-premise type of equipment.
Right.
We have that built into our cloud infrastructure.
Because you have to have it.
Exactly.
Right. It's part of your business model.
Absolutely,
so we as your clients benefit from your investment.
Yeah, and we have multiple data centers that replicate across each other around the country. So if something drastic were to happen here, we always have a failover solution ready to go.
Love it when you talk technical. Love it when you talk technical.
Oh, man. I'm not just a pretty face. Right?
There you go. For those of you who are watching this interview on the YouTube channel, you can see what Amon was just talking about. There you go. And if you're not, you should look for Richard Franzi on YouTube, and there is our Critical Mass radio show series, and you can find this interview. Let's talk about your guiding principle. What's your philosophy as you've built and scaled your firm?
I look back at my kind of personal experiences, and I really think that my guiding principles were built from my parents. Obviously, my mom's here as well. I call my mom the rock, because she's really just the stable force. And my dad, I think he's he's been the determination that's kind of built into me. I did 10 years of competitive kickboxing.
Really?
If believe it or not.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I'm impressed.
Body's taken a beating, but
okay.
But I learned from there that success and victory take perseverance and preparation.
Yes.
And for me, I think that's really been the guiding principle in business as well as in life. It takes perseverance and it takes preparation. A lot of planning and planning ahead and those kinds of things. Really. That I think has been the differentiating factor. You prepare, 9 times out of 10 you will win the fight.
Right.
Someone may get lucky along the way, but
right. And I like that you've married that with persistence, because I think it's one of the most important qualities in an entrepreneur is just to keep pushing. Because especially as the economy was tight for many years, it would have been easy to throw in the towel, because things weren't as easy as they had been in the past.
Sure. Yeah. It's never easy. There's always competition. There's always the next new thing, especially in technology. Things are changing so quickly.
Thank you for saying that. I want not to interrupt you, but that's whenever I'm fascinated, but whenever I have information technology professionals on the show, because we open the show by saying everybody's heard of cloud computing in one form or the other, and that's I imagine somewhat a challenge too, because people come to you with unfiltered questions about latest technology, thinking I want this, right?
Yeah.
And how do you address that in your managed services business and your cloud computing, sort of to help people to maybe not jump off that cliff too early with the technology? Or
I think that really comes down to myself and my staff. I've made it a really important point when I hire anyone is to make sure that their communication skills are significantly above and beyond your typical introverted IT tech.
Okay.
And then helping the client understand the ramifications of whatever new technology they're trying to introduce. I want this new finagle device, and I just brought this from home. Can you plug it into the network? I need my data. We're like, well, okay, listen, this could potentially expose your corporate information to unwanted or undesirable guests. Let's take a step back. Let's let us explore this a little bit. But typically, with the cloud platform, we've designed a solution that is accessible from a plethora of devices, iPhones, iPads.
That's what everybody
Android,
expects now. Yeah.
Right, and people are expecting that, so we're not going to be, alienating them away from that. But there are clients that we have, we're very strict, we're very confidential about our client list, but we do have clients in the defense industry, for instance, that are they're much more tightly regulated, or in the casino gaming industry.
Right.
And they're strictly regulated. So we need to make sure that we work around their specific requirements and rule sets.
Right, because you mentioned the medical healthcare industry too, which is very tightly regulated on information, etc.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Amon, my engineer has given me the sign that we're going to have to wrap up this interview today. It's gone by so quickly. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how would someone find your firm online? How do they find Network Remedy?
NetworkRemedy.com. All the information is there. Our phone number is there. We have an 800 number, 855-REMEDY-5. And, NetworkRemedy.com. I think that's really the best and quickest way to find the information you need.
Well, I want to thank you for making the trip down and being a part of us here in the studio. You're now a friend of the program and a part of the Critical Mass community. You're part of the Renaissance Executive Forums community as well. So I want to thank not only you, but your fine driver/mother for bringing you in here today. It was nice meeting you, Ellis. Thank you very much for being a guest on our show.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break, and Doug Grant, who is the founder of the 50-Mile Ride for Rwanda, will be here next talking about that nonprofit that he started after these words from our commercial sponsors.
When it comes to pioneers in their respective industries, we all know the Apples, Starbucks, and Trader Joe's of the world. In the realm of recruiting, Decision Toolbox is the industry's best-kept secret. With 90% of their business from referrals and repeat customers. For over 20 years, Decision Toolbox's U.S.-based team of recruiters, sourcers, professional writers, quality personnel, and tech support has perfected a Six Sigma approach to talent management. No matter the size of the project, Decision Toolbox delivers incredible results. A cost per hire less than half of what contingency firms charge, with the winning candidate presented in an average of 14 days, all with a 12-month candidate warranty. With results like that, Decision Toolbox won't be a secret for long. Visit us at www.dtoolbox.com for more information.
If you are an Orange County business executive, this message is for you. Do you ever feel isolated with no place to turn for advice or feedback? Who holds you accountable to your commitments in your company? Where do you find the right resources to help you and your company grow? If you have these questions, then Critical Mass for Business might be the answer for you. Critical Mass for Business is committed to helping you make better decisions. These are groups of peers running businesses just like you, providing a great sounding board to test ideas and concepts, review plan and goals, and present issues and opportunities for discussion. The result is improved strategy, accountability, people, and execution skills. If you are interested in learning more, go to www.criticalmassforbusiness.com and learn more about our executive peer group.
Successfully navigating the changing world of public relations and digital marketing requires an experienced, tenacious, yet gracious team. In business for more than 20 years, Orange County-based T & Company delivers big agency results with personalized service. For more information, call us at 714-536-8407 or visit us online at tandco.me.
And welcome back to this edition of Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host, Rick Franzi. As promised, Doug Grant, who started the 50-Mile Ride for Rwanda, is here in the studio. Doug, welcome to Critical Mass Radio Show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's good to have you here. Let's start very simply. Can you tell our audience a little bit about you and sort of your backstory behind the 50-Mile Ride for Rwanda?
Like my day job, or
how did you first? What do you do, and how did you get exposed to this concept? Why are you doing this? We're going to talk about it in more detail, but just set the stage for us.
Well, the concept for the ride actually began just with a bunch of buddies. I turned 50 several years ago, and it's typical in the cycling community to do an epic ride on your birthday. So we thought, okay, 50 miles on a mountain bike, which is what my passion is, that's a pretty epic ride. So we decided to put a ride together, and then it was shortly after that I just was inspired to turn it into a fundraiser.
Okay.
And how did I select Rwanda?
Yes.
So I love coffee, I gotta admit, and so Rwanda, is kind of known in the past for the genocide and the tragedy 20 years ago, but they've risen above that. It's just an amazing land now of forgiveness, reconciliation. It's incredible. Well, it's also the land of coffee. There's 500,000 small plot coffee growers in Rwanda.
Really?
So yeah, that got my attention as well.
Okay.
So I heard about Project Rwanda, where mountain bike industry legend Tom. He visited Rwanda. He was inspired by the people and the story that he heard of their reconciliation. So he said, I can help these people. I can help them rise above poverty, because typically a Rwandan coffee grower, they carry 100-kilo bags of these coffee cherries on their way from their farms to the processing stations. If they can have a way to do more trips in a day, faster trips, they can be more productive, maybe rise above poverty.
Makes sense.
So he created these cargo bikes, actual steel utility bikes with gears, and they were able to ride up and down these hills. Rwanda is called the land of 1,000 hills.
Right.
And so anyway, they needed a way to be able to improve their productivity during the day. So found out about.
Sounds like a good place for a mountain biker, though.
Oh yeah, I got to visit it.
Okay.
In 2007, we did a mountain bike trip there and rode from village to village, and incredible beauty in Rwanda. Terraced hillsides with coffee trees and beautiful farms, beautiful people, very welcoming.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm learning so much in the first segment of the show about. Frankly, I had the wrong imprint of Rwanda.
Yeah,
frankly, based on that was what was newsworthy at the time. Right?
Correct. It's far different than that today. It's one of the safest places to visit in Africa right now.
Okay.
So
wow. Look at you! You are just you're just Doug Grant is just full of information. We're here to talk about his 50-mile ride for Rwanda. So tell me about the organization or the process of the 50-mile ride for Rwanda.
Okay.
What are we experiencing here?
Well, so it started out that first year as this birthday ride, and then it kind of took on a life of its own. And so we now are going to be hosting our 9th annual ride. The organization is really just a bunch of buddies. It's just a group of volunteers that kind of caught the vision, feel like, they're taking something that they love to do anyway, which is mountain biking, and turning it into something that can do some good for some people.
Okay.
So, we have very few meetings to put on this event. We have maybe 6 meetings. They start in November when we kind of kick off the promotion for the event. So we kind of got a organized list of duties and who does what.
Where do you ride?
Okay, so the event starts at Oakley in Foothill Ranch.
Sure.
They're a major sponsor. We're grateful to have them on board. They're great friends. And it kind of fits with their brand as well,
right.
Kind of adventure. So we actually have a 50-mile event. We have a 25 and we have a 10-mile event. All three start at Oakley. So we go through 3 Orange County parks with our event in order to get the 50 miles in. So we go through Whiting, we go through O'Neill, we go through Caspers, and then back to Whiting, or back through O'Neill, and back to Oakley.
Okay.
So,
and we're going to talk a little bit more about the event because it's coming up. For those of you that are listening to us live here on octalkradio.net, you're in luck because you might be able to register. I want to get into that.
I hope they do.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit. I'd like to switch gears with you for a little bit here.
Sure.
Let's talk about you as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And a question that we ask pretty regularly is your guiding principle, Doug, a philosophy for how you approach your business practice. Can you share that with our audience, please?
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about Africa, and there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And so I know you're a fan of peer groups, and so am I. So I think if there's a guiding principle, it's that I'm not smart enough to know everything on my own. I need buddies for accountability. I need buddies for their wisdom, best practices, etc. So I'm actually a member of a couple of peer groups, and one of them is industry specific to my printing and graphics industry, and we meet 3 times a year, and and again, we share best practices and learn from each other, and have guest presenters that teach us new technology and trends. I'm also a member of a Christian CEO group called Convene.
Sure.
And we meet monthly, and it's very similar to like Tech, or what's I think now called Vistage.
Right.
So again, the thing I like about that one, well, there are two reasons I like it. It's we're able to share in like a forum setting about real life business issues that we're all struggling with, and I get a perspective from outside the industry.
Isn't that healthy?
Yeah, it is, because sometimes we drink the Kool-Aid of our own industry, and
right.
So it's good to have an outside perspective.
That's great.
It's also, I like the fact that it's helping me integrate like Christian principles into my daily business, which is personally very helpful for me.
Good. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. We're talking with Doug Grant. He's many things. One of the things is he's president of West America Communications. You kind of mentioned that. So why don't you open the door? We have a few minutes before our next commercial break, but set the stage. What services do they offer? Why do clients do business with you?
Oh, well, because they love us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
obviously.
So West America Communications was actually formed last year, although I've been in the business for 38 years. So I owned West America Graphics, a printing and general commercial marketing firm in Orange County. I merged last year with a college buddy of mine, Bill Burnt, with PSB Financial. So we both, let's face it, our industry has changed in the last several years.
The printing industry?
You think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, it has. And so as we're trying to adapt and grow and become relevant still and stay relevant and valuable, we decided, we'd be better together. So we went to college 30-some years ago and decided let's give it the old college try again. So we merged. And today, we're honestly, we call ourselves the new spirit of communications. It's like it's fun to talk about business again and to be able to offer things that are truly valuable to our clients. And
like what?
Well, so yeah, we do print and mail. That's the core. But outside of that, and the value that we add, we do have design, full design, creative, even marketing strategy. We offer dimensional, three-dimensional, like structural design and engineering for packaging. We're starting to offer video. We do online storefronts, which are marketing collateral portals for our clients to be able to manage their marketing collateral. Oh, goodness.
So it sounds like technology has really infused itself into the industry a lot.
It has.
Yeah. And you're vertically integrated to some degree, it sounds like, with design and the other features that you're offering. Is that what clients are, it must be what clients are asking for in your space then?
Some clients utilize our full suite of services.
Okay.
Others, kind of a la carte, just pick what's relevant and important for them. So it's kind of fun to be able to insert ourselves wherever it's needed to the degree that it's needed.
Right. So is it a challenge? Has it been a challenge to find the right path forward strategically for your business? Yeah.
And I don't know. I read a lot of business books, but I can't tell you what we're going to look like 10 years from now, even 5 years from now. I really can't. So important to us is to just have a big funnel, a big pipeline that we just are dropping stuff into and seeing what kind of sticks. That's how we added video just this last year.
What type of video?
Full, like corporate video. So promotional video, informational, instructional video, annual report video. So it's big now. Clearly, it's very important in a marketing mix to include video, especially with social media, especially with mobile devices, which are becoming more important for communication tools.
I'm talking with Doug Grant, and we're talking both about the 50-mile ride for Rwanda, and we're also talking about his communications firm, West America Communications. So, did you discover video and say, I think my clients would want that, or were your clients saying, hey, Doug, can you guys do a video how did that happen?
Well, a little bit of both. So on the company we merged with, PSB, they had been doing some video in the past, so we had experience with it, but we knew that we wanted to take it up a notch. When people think of West America Communications, we have there's a certain brand, there's a certain value that they know that they're going to receive. We're not the least expensive, but we provide the most value for the dollar that they invest. So we wanted, when we knew that we wanted to expand video, again, because we saw that that's the direction the market was going in addition to the print. So when we added video, we wanted to do it the West America way. We wanted to make sure that we offered something that was of greater value. So how do we do that? Well, anybody with a GoPro and a tripod can call themselves a videographer. So
Right.
we thought, okay, it's the art of the story. That's the differentiator for us. We also feel like we have a little tagline that I don't know, we're going to say that we invented it. Shoot once, create many. So we want to go in, we want to have a strategy, we want to talk to the client about what are they trying to achieve with this video. Can we integrate it to the rest of their brand, their messaging, their campaign? And then we come in and we shoot, but we strategically plan that shootout so that we can then capture a bunch of other film clip that we
Right.
can perhaps use later throughout the year. And it's a little more economical way to put a video strategy together.
Yeah, that's a lot more economical, right? Because you can mix and match B-roll and other
There you
things,
go.
and you end up.
I didn't
with-
even know how to spell B-roll until a year ago. But
Now look at you.
yeah, look at me now.
Yeah, now you're a videographer.
Apparently so.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for being honest, Doug Grant.
Sure.
We're going to take our next commercial break here on Critical Mass Radio Show. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about this event that's coming up. If you're listening to us live or as a podcast and it's not quite the end of April, you're in luck. Stay tuned. Even if you haven't, if you're listening to us as a podcast after April of 2015, stay tuned anyway because you'll learn about the 50-mile ride for Rwanda after these words from our sponsors.
Let's face it, not all company challenges are the same, which is why Strategic Market Intelligence can help identify the actionable information you need to be more competitive. Gain a better understanding of your brand, competition, best prospects, or new product opportunities to generate greater revenues in 2015. Call 949-357-9547 or visit www.strategicmarketintelligence.com.
Are you ready to tap into the power of social media to promote your business? It's easy to get social with Turn Up the Volume, the award-winning social media marketing professionals who know how to get results. Drive web traffic, boost sales. Get social today. Visit www.turnupthevolume.com. That's turnupthevolume.com.
Richard Franzi is a highly sought-after keynote speaker on topics of interest to CEOs of middle firms across North America. Richard's talks include Killing Cats Leads to Rats, a fascinating look at how unintended consequences of CEOs' decisions impact their firm's performance. Your Gray Matter Matters, which explores how a CEO's mindset can differentiate a middle market firm and define its culture. Richard delivers talks to a variety of audiences, ranging from executive team retreats to keynotes in front of hundreds of CEOs. To learn more about his talks, visit criticalmassforbusiness.com and select the contact page or call 949-887-4104.
And welcome back to this edition of Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host, Rick Franzi. Doug Grant is our guest. He's many things. He's an entrepreneur and president of West America Communications. He's also started the 50-mile ride for Rwanda, and we're going to be talking more about that in just a second. But first, I wanted to thank and acknowledge our listeners who download the show as a podcast. You've listened to over several thousand episodes during the last 30 days. We here at the radio show appreciate your continued and growing support. All of our shows can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher.com, Spreaker.com, several hundred former guest websites who their CEOs have been on our show, and the companies place their interview on their website somewhere, maybe on their homepage, as well as various other business-oriented podcasting services. All right, Doug. So, as I said before the break, this year's ride is coming up.
Yes, it is. Saturday, April 25th.
Okay. And how many people generally do the ride?
Well, we've grown every year that we've initiated this event. And so last year we had 936 riders. We're really hoping to get over 1,000 riders this year. So that's split between about half do the 50-mile ride, about 40% do the 25-mile option, and 100 or so do the 10-mile option.
And are they all mountain bike then? Because
yes,
of the
it's all
trails?
mountain bike. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a mountain bike event.
Okay.
So,
And do you have to be like a really avid mountain biker to be able to perform this?
No, you just have to learn, know how to have fun, basically.
Okay.
It's a fun ride. It's not a race. And I think that's what is the appeal of our event to many of our participants. There's a lot of hardcore people. I mean, to ride 50 miles on a mountain bike, that's a special breed. So not everybody does the 50. A lot of the people that do the 50 are also racing, but not at our event. It's just a ride. So the people that do the 10 and the 25, they're your weekend riders. The 10 mile especially would be maybe novice to beginning riders. We added that to help grow our numbers and to broaden the appeal to a number of different cycling folks.
And are they raising money? What?
Yeah.
It's obviously raising awareness. We're here talking about it.
Yeah, we are. We're blessed to be raising quite a bit of money. In fact. Going back to the first event in 2006, our goal was to attract 50 riders and raise enough money to buy 50 of these cargo bikes, and that was a $7,500 goal. We ended up with 238 riders, and we raised $28,000. And so we thought, okay, there's something happening here.
Wow! And that must have made you feel pretty good.
It felt pretty good. Yeah, and for everybody that was involved,
right.
not just me. And so since then, like I said, it's grown every year. So over the course of the first 8 years, we've raised $550,000 for our nonprofits.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. Our goal this year is to raise another 150. So it's a big goal, but we're praying that we reach it.
And how much does a bike cost?
$134.
Okay.
So that's the cost of a bike landed into Africa. Last year, our event we split. We're going to talk about my nonprofits that we support.
Yes.
Okay. So our event raises funds for two nonprofits. One of them is called Team Africa Rising, and that is a organization, a nonprofit that started out as Team Rwanda Cycling. It was the national cycling team for Rwanda, and they have since expanded to incorporate training athletes in Ethiopia and Eritrea. So they broadened their reach, and now they're called Team Africa Rising.
Okay,
it's teamafricarising.org if people want more information. And their hope and goal is to have an all-African cycling team in the Tour de France one day. I can also tell you that they originally thought that they were there to train athletes to compete internationally, but they've since found out that the biggest contribution they make to the country and to the athletes themselves is in educating them, giving them sustainable life skills beyond just the bike.
Wow.
So that's a big part of that organization. It's a big part of my heart. So when we provide bikes, I can tell you the second fundraising nonprofit, or the nonprofit that we raise funds for, is called World Bicycle Relief. That's worldbicyclerelief.org. So they provide utility bikes to caregivers, to students, to entrepreneurs, primarily in Africa. They've been in existence for about 6 years. There's 200,000 bikes that they've provided in Africa alone.
Wow.
It's well funded. It's a big organization. They've got 800 trained mechanics in Africa alone. So we half of our proceeds each year go to World Bicycle Relief. It funds a container load of 220 utility bikes. 2 years ago, these bikes went to students in Ramagana, Rwanda, which is hometown of Adrian Niyonshuti. Now, Adrian, he was the first Rwandan mountain bike athlete to compete in the Olympics. He competed in 2012 in the London Olympics. So I got to meet him when I was there in Rwanda. It was like, he's like a rock star in the country, and so he wanted to give back to his hometown, so we helped him to do that with providing these bikes. They went to students in Ramagana to allow them to get to school. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get to school. The average, child in Rwanda might have to travel 10 to 20 kilometers.
I was going to ask you, what's the commute to get to a...
Their commute is on foot, typically, and it's 10 to 20 kilometers. So choice between going to school versus staying at home to work on the family farm, sometimes they don't have a choice. Well, with the bike, they can get to and from and be able to do both in a day.
So it's really making a major impact in their lives.
A sustainable impact, yeah. One of the philosophies of World Bicycle Relief and Team Africa Rising is a hand up, not a hand out.
Okay.
These bikes are, given to people that are to allow them to have an opportunity they otherwise wouldn't have. They're not necessarily a gift. There's an expectation that they're going to give back to their community as well.
So how did you find these two specific organizations to benefit from your ride?
World Bicycle Relief, I found just through some research and some friends networking. We started out supporting Project Rwanda when in the first 2 years of the event. They were not able to support. There's 2,500 of their cargo bikes in Rwanda today, but in Rwanda there's no like bike shops. There's no, getting tubes and brake pads and all. It just was a problem to be able to support those cargo bikes. So the Project Rwanda bikes were, it wasn't a sustainable enterprise. So when we found that out, we decided, and I learned about World Bicycle Relief, again, just through the research that I'd done. And we made some connections with them, and they were eager to get involved in our event, and it's been a good partnership since. Team Africa Rising was kind of birthed out of Project Rwanda in the early days as well.
Okay.
So in addition to the cargo bikes, Tom Ritchie and Jock Boyer, who is the coach of Team Rwanda, got together and they were inspired to create a national cycling team. They saw these athletes in Rwanda and said, let's help them compete on the national or international stage.
And you say one of their goals is to have an all-African team compete?
Yes. Yeah, in the Tour de France.
Tour de France. So that's not happened.
Well, there is a team that's going to compete this year, and they are from Africa, but it isn't an all-black African team, and that's what they would like to be able to provide from the world stage. It's an inspiring story. Even Team Rwanda today is an inspiring story. They do compete in international events, but the Tour de France is like it's another level.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it might be a few years out before they're able to achieve this goal, but it's what drives them forward.
Wow. So we're talking with Doug Grant. And we're talking about his sponsored ride, the 50-mile ride for Rwanda, and we were just kind of he was detailing for us the two major charities that the proceeds from the ride support. Take me back to the first time. Why did it scale so quickly? Is it because you have relationships in the mountain biking industry? Looking back on it, why was that first one so successful?
Total grassroots. It's grown through word of mouth. It's grown through. There's a kindred spirit in the mountain bike community. It's a small world, let's say. Okay. People talk with each other. Local bike shops have been tremendous supporters, both in terms of sponsoring prizes. I gotta talk to you about our prize raffle at the event.
Okay.
So the local bike shops help to promote it through flyers, talking to their patrons. Local clubs, there's a lot of bike clubs, and getting them to talk about it. I mean, we would print these little, I know a good printer, so we printed up these these business cards and business card size little things that riders would hand out to other riders the couple months prior to the event when they see them on the trails. So really kind of word of mouth. And I think, it's participants are inspired as well. They're going to ride anyway. Why not ride for a good cause?
Right.
So the way we raise funds, all the registration fees go to support our nonprofits. So we do charge $60 to participate in the event, $40 for the 10-mile event, but $60 for the 25 and 50. So a portion of, that portion goes to the fundraising. We also have sponsors that donate to the event, generous, and that could be corporate, could be individuals. And then we sell raffle tickets for this amazing, I think we're legendary for our prize raffle. We have over $30,000 in prizes that we raffle off at the end of each event.
Okay.
And
things like
well, I've got a guy dropping off a 55-inch TV today and a set of Beats headphones. I've got a mountain bike trip. It's called San Juan Trail hut to hut trip, Durango to Moab. That's like an $895 value. Grand prize is going to be a $6,000 mountain bike that the winner can select the frame, size, and style and model of their choice from Santa Cruz Bikes. They're a major sponsor. Shimano is a major sponsor. I don't want to start listing people off because I'm sure I'm going to miss.
Right. I'm sure this is information is available somewhere, like on our website.
There you go.
What would that be, then?
Okay, the short website is 50mr.com, 50mr.com.
Okay.
You can also go to 50milерide.com. It'll take you to the same place.
Okay.
So event details, more background on the nonprofits that we support is there. Can I ask for volunteers as well while we're talking?
We've got a minute left.
Okay, so we need 200 volunteers to pull this event off on event day. So if you don't cycle, but you know someone that does, and you want to help out that day, please go to our website and click on the volunteer tab, and there's a selection of a number of different options for you to pick
Well, I hope some people will do that are listening to us live here on octalkradio.net. And if somebody would like to learn more about your business, West America Communications, how do they find that enterprise?
mywestamerica.com. mywestamerica.com is our website, and pretty comprehensive website. We do websites, so ours better look pretty good. I think they'll be impressed if they go to visit it, and they can learn more about our services.
Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, learning about your philanthropic enterprises as well as your entrepreneurial spirit. So thanks for being a friend of our program and part of our community now, Doug Grant.
It's been a pleasure talking with you today, Rick.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. I hope that you've enjoyed today's show, and maybe in some part we've helped to improve your decision-making skills. I obviously want to thank our advertisers, Center Club, Community Bank, Decision Toolbox, Executives Unlimited, MBN Design, S&H Rubber, Strategic Market Intelligence, Sunup Group, T & Company, Tone Software, Turn Up the Volume, and UPS Protection. Until our next show, this is your host, Rick Franzi, saying I hope that all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.